Welcome to another episode of your favorite podcast that releases once a decade.
Not once a decade.
Once as needed. The Bible released once. We've been using it ever since. So, welcome to A Product of Proverbs. This is your host, Joshua Fowler, joined by your host,
Roy Fowler.
And we're here to share our life lessons and wisdom that we've gained from this journey using the book of Proverbs as a North Star, but also using what we've gone through in real life as the actual footsteps in the sand that you can follow to reach the promised land. So let's kick off where we left off at the last episode. Let's see, looking through our list, read.
Yeah, you gotta read. And I guess as far as I am, I'm not real broad in my reading. I read most things around becoming a better teacher, preacher, pastor, servant. And that's where most of my reading, but I do read other material. I'm reading a book now that's not, I know you wouldn't want to read it, but I do read different books.
What is it about?
It is about...
Don't say it.
What?
It's about politics, ain't it?
No, it's not about politics.
Okay, thank God.
More like a documentary history of the situation that happened, with...
I'll flip this whole table over, Leroy. You better not say it. I'm going to edit it regardless. Say it.
It's on the segregated South.
Actually, we can explore this. What perspective?
Honestly, we had a family reunion.
Oh, it's that book that has the information about what they took.
Yeah, it's when they turned this integrated commons into segregated. They drove all of the black people out of commons, ran them out and burned down their houses, took all their property.
I wonder how does that happen? Well, the book probably explains it, but how does that happen? Because there are deeds within the courthouses.
Well, the people in the courthouses
just
was part of the people that was running them out. That's the problem.
It is the problem.
Honestly, the fact is the ones that put the hoods on are the same ones that put the robes on Sunday.
And you want to know what my problem is? Speaking about, I hate to take it there with the politics, but when we were talking earlier about how those institutions will shut down and not let people get their money, it's the similar thing. Like, those institutions and the people that can shut down and not let you make a withdrawal is almost like the courthouse people that changed deeds. Mm-hmm. And they just changed the deeds. They said these stocks was worth this and they own this, and then once you get back in there, it's not that no more. I don't believe in segregation. I do believe in a certain level of autonomy. You just need to have autonomy. You don't have to be segregated to have autonomy. We can have a mixed neighborhood where, the black people get together and say what they are and ain't going to allow in that neighborhood. And they might have two white neighbors in between the black houses, but we're going to force some black rules and the black people are going to operate in a way. The HOA don't need to tell us. When James down there ain't cutting his grass, the black people come say, hey, big dog, you making us look bad within this neighborhood, and you're also making the neighborhood look bad. That can happen. That should happen.
And it should happen.
That should happen. But it doesn't happen because we wait for the neighborhood HOA to say, hey, James, you're making the neighborhood look bad. While all 14 of us in the neighborhood have been talking bad about James for 2 months because he ain't cut his grass.
And nobody's talked to James.
Or even worse, somebody could have said, hey, James, you need some help. Maybe James just can't afford it right now, and we can just pay for the person that's going to cut our grass. Hey, can you stop at James' house?
That's community.
So easy. It's so easy. And
That's community, yeah.
It's that mindset. Very similar to the people at the store that could have just did a $30 Amazon order, had me swipe my card for $70, and just made $40 on that day. They would have made zero. If they had a solution-based mindset as opposed to I don't know what.
And I think that's the thing. Most people don't have a solution-based mindset.
Mm-mm.
They like to complain.
Mm-hmm.
But what you going to do about it? What can we do about this? Instead of just complaining about it, let's do something about it.
You want to know what I like? I will even accept, applaud, and appreciate idea people. You're never going to implement a solution, but when a problem arises, you start thinking and talking about solutions to it. You ain't going to ever implement a single one. You might come up with completely out-of-the-box solutions that can't be implemented. But you started thinking about a solution. You also influence others to think about a solution. Those people are needed. I think a lot of times, whether it's society or self-filtering, we'll kind of talk ourselves out of or say, well, we can't implement it, or I don't ever implement nothing, so I'm not even going to think about a solve. No, still think about the way to solve it, because eventually you'll find a solution that you can solve if you're training your brain to solve problems.
Yeah, that's the key. We got to be more solution-based, and that'll make a difference.
That's that intentional.
You got to be intentional.
Gotta be intentional and present. You have to be present. It's funny because that's the difference between the vices. Like a lot of the vices within our community are vices to make us not present.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you drink, you go out, you go somewhere and something takes over you.
Right.
When you smoke, you go to the clouds and you ain't here on earth no more. Versus, I think in a community, I've never done it, I've never seen it. I've probably been around it. I'm grateful that people respect me enough to like not let me know. But seems that they get extra present off that cocaine and stuff. Like they just get very engaged. They want to talk, like they intense. They're present there. And I think about the other, like those psychedelics and stuff, you get super present where it's about like the trees talking to you. And you just aware of the moment and your feelings, and complete opposite about when you get high and then don't remember, and then you get back sober and you don't even remember what you did when you was high. It's different. I wonder, well, I know it's intentional, I know why, but it's like, how do we get off of that? How do we get off of the fact that in that Frederick Douglass book that Daniel shared that we read, on winter break at the plantation, they give them a football and give them a bunch of barrels of whiskey and let them entertain themselves. And after that, New Year's and Christmas break, they come back working harder than ever all year, looking for the next time that they get to wrestle with each other and drink. And it's like, man, especially as we walking into football season, and every Saturday and Sunday, the day that my Saturday routine is wake up, go to Barnes & Noble, journal, budget, flip through some magazines, maybe read a book or something. That's the time that people are waking up, putting on their outfits, and drinking beers to go throw away the next 48 hours as drunk as possible, eating the worst food possible,
and enjoying every minute of it
for 4 months. What is it? It's September, October,
February, right?
About half the year. And then complain about it in the group. It's funny though. Oh man, football season, especially when the NBA is gone and football gone. You act like baseball and golf and tennis and everything that exists don't even exist. Oh man, I can't wait for football season to get back. And that's funny because we've never been a football family. Mm-mm. I'm now in a fantasy football league, and it's been a doozy already. I'm the laughingstock of my frat group me, because apparently my team was picked as if I picked it with my eyes closed, which I did because I haven't watched a football game outside of a Super Bowl in like 6-7 years.
Right.
So I don't know any pro players, no college players. I don't know no rookies. And all the players I know is like retired, because in football you only got a little window. So apparently I did all right. I'm scheduled to come in 8th. It's a 10 team.
So you got retired players on your team?
No, but somebody that I'm playing this week, they got a player on their starting lineup, and the message said he announced his retirement in June. Man, shout out to Darren Waller, actually. Darren Waller, he went to North Cobb. I don't know if you remember. We played basketball with him. Tall, light-skinned, kind of roundish head, probably 8th grade, 7th grade. Darren Waller.
Darren, I remember that
Remember
name.
Darren? Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's an NFL player, tight end.
Really?
Yep. He ended up playing. I remember because I used to see him at the Buckhead bars in undergrad, and like we kick it, we talk, and he went through some things. Like he made it to the league, went through some things, recovered, and made it back to the league. And yeah, so and big time, big contracts.
Okay.
I want to say played for the Raiders. I believe they're in Vegas now. Maybe contract with the Giants or Jets, one of the New York teams. And I remember his big stint, maybe the Baltimore Ravens. But yeah, no, he had a successful career. And
oh, wow.
Yeah, and it's funny. There was a profile, I believe I saw something someone shared with me where like, yeah, he's built his dream home around here somewhere.
Here?
Yeah, here in Akron, because he's like, from here, family's here, whole thing. So, yeah. Darren Waller. I was wondering if y'all remembered. I'm the type of person, like, I don't like that. I don't like to associate myself with famous people. Like it don't matter that I play baseball with somebody or I play basketball with somebody or I know somebody from growing up. Like I know people that'll take they the 17th cousin twice removed by
Yeah,
marriage and
yeah.
divorce. And oh yeah, that's my homie.
Mm-hmm.
Hey man,
Yeah.
I take somebody that I really hung out with and act like I don't know them because you don't. I don't know them. Like, they don't know me. It's like yeah, we dap each other up when you see them, but you don't know what people go through, who they've grown to be, who they changed over the years. Like, and you don't know. And if you're not gonna be intentional, honestly, they don't have time for you to connect and become best friends with them. You don't have time for them to connect and become best friends with you. It's just like certain relationships, they have they phases, levels, stages. It's a lot of relationships that's all love if I see you, but don't call me. There's levels.
Yeah.
There's levels to it. That's intentional and being aware of your surroundings. And I think that's a good transition. I think we're done with money. They don't care about money. They're not going to listen.
It's important. Let me say this about money, though. Because today is National 401k Day.
I'm with that. That's one of the things I believe in.
Yeah.
Yeah, shout that out.
And I would just like to just tell everybody, if you get the opportunity to work for a company that have a 401k match, take advantage of it. Just take advantage of it. Let it ride out. And because one thing about it, if you live, it's going to build. Mm-hmm. And you're going to end up at a day when you have some money that you didn't even think about as you were growing and living. And because it's a match, so you automatically get that. I wouldn't necessarily say invest more than they're matching, but at least invest what they're matching if you can. If you can. And if you can't, do something. Take advantage of your company's 401k plans.
And I'm going to speak from the other side. That was to the if you can and the people that have chosen to like give up on hundreds of thousands of dollars in your future to save $300 a check right now. Call Daniel. Call a financial advisor. Get on LinkedIn. Figure something out. Get some help because your future self is going to thank you for it. And I think it really helps to see you entering pull from 401k age. Because when you only see a bunch of 20-year-olds giving this money to something that they might not see, especially thinking like, and that's big, as I said earlier, I live all the time like I might be on my last 30 minutes. So it's kind of ridiculous to my mind and my mindset to say, I'm going to put all this money aside for it down the road when I don't really think that I don't expect to see down the road. So you should do that and just find a way to do it. At least that match. It's one of those things where a lot of companies are going to do significant matches. Like with I've been at a company before and they're going to put double what I put in. So if I put $7,000 a year in a 401k, they're going to put $14,000. Every year you're going to do $21,000. That's just the match. That's just bare minimum. That's coming out pre-tax. This is all those things that you look up. You've been working with this company for 10 years before any gains, any appreciations, any dividends, anything. You got $250,000 sitting right there.
Yeah.
I think about how that's been compounded.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. That compounding is something else.
That's 10 years. Now think about if you've been working at Lockheed, putting it into your 401k from when you was 18.
I did. I started when I was 18, and I put money in the 401k, and I've done it for 42 years. And I looked at my account, and it's a good place to be right now because I'm at a place where
you can at any day just call them and say, I'm not working no more. I'm done.
That's a good place to be. And you don't think about that because you might be listening now and you're 30. I remember when I was 21 and here I am 62. So take advantage of it and do other things, Joshua. You got a lot of things going on besides that. But and take advantage of that. I will tell you too, if you can do a Roth, do that.
Do all you can and talk to Daniel. I'm not going to say talk to a financial advisor. Talk to Daniel Fowler. I'll put some information so y'all can contact him. He does this professionally.
Yes.
We just sitting here talking. He's certified. He's educated in it. Like, he has fiduciary responsibilities. He's as official tissue as who handles LeBron's money. Like, he's that. We just talking. So talk to Daniel. Talk to your tax, whoever. Don't do your own taxes. That's going to be my other thing. It costs to be the boss. Quality of life. It's just like, stop dog, you're going to save $200 to lose $2,000 that a tax professional could have found for you. And then you're going to do that for 10 years and you done saved, what, $2,000 and then left $20,000 on the table.
Minimal.
Stop doing your own taxes. There are people that went to school to learn this stuff. There are people that keep certifications alive and keep continual education. And as tax codes change, they learn the new tax codes. They can help you. It takes a team. They say successful people have a team. Start thinking of yourself as a successful person. You should have someone helping you with your taxes. You should have someone on the financial planning side. Honestly, if you're a professional, and as we're entering our age and maybe getting intentional, because a lot of us, at least in my kind of cohort, my people I went to school with, undergrad, MBA, etc., we can sit here. We've done it. We graduated school about 8 years ago. We've gotten our internships. We've gotten our entry level. We've even made it to management. We can sit here for 20, 30 years and chill. But also there's a group of us that are going to keep going, you know? So you should probably have someone helping you with your brand. You should have someone making sure that like your style and how you carry yourself is in line with what you want to portray. Because some people that want to be C-suite, you're going to have to dress like C-suites dress like when they're 30. Because when it's 40 to start voting on them people, they going to want to trust you. If you've been dressing like you were 16 until you turned 37, now you want to be somebody's CFO at 40, you might have wanted somebody that's been transitioning you into that. A stylist or a brand person can even like help you, your accessories. Maybe, hey, look, your tech, you looking a little bit too construction. Like, you might want to change your facial hair a little bit. You're looking really yuppie. Let's get you a little bit more down to earth. So you want people that's intentional about how you portray yourself because you want to be authentic. Thinking about the why, like there's authenticity and authentic you, but you also have an identity. And your identity changes. As we say, as you grow, you mature, you reinvent yourself, you set new goals. Like the you in the Mustang GT can't be the you in the Corvette. The you in the Corvette can't be you in the Porsche. The you in the Porsche can't be you in the Ferrari. And the you in the $1 million house can't be you in the Section 8 apartment. And the you in the starter townhouse can't be the you in the golf course, families, private school community. You need intention, and the people in the levels that you want to get to aren't doing it on their own. They don't have a team of people like a rapper that follows them around from interview to interview, but they have people that they employ, mentors, a leadership board of directors. They have financial planners. They have tax people. They have real estate agents. They have stylists. They have people that help them. So when you see people really put together and really doing it, and you say, why am I not doing it? Because you try and do it on your own. Everybody else is doing it with a lot of help. What's the proverb? It's a product of Proverbs. Or it might be in Ecclesiastes. 2 is better than 1. For when one gets cold, the other can provide warmth. A chain of 3 strands ain't easily broken. Mm-hmm. So the more the merrier. And your identity is something you need to be very intentional about, because us in the black community, at least from what I've been able to experience recently, we like that. They should treat you however, but it don't matter what you got on. It don't matter what you do. Or even the worst is I like to see people who just like to run around looking crazy as possible. They try to almost like offensively crazy. Like you in pajamas outside and stuff and just like offensively crazy. What outcomes do you expect, and that's how you carry yourself. You carry yourself in the way that you expect people to treat you. People, as bad as it is, like if your teeth are white and your hair is combed and you look like you showered, they smile more.
Mm-hmm. Makes a difference. Perception is reality.
Everywhere, anywhere, and nowhere. So yeah, be intentional, man, because you want something out of life. And make sure that whatever you want, like math, like algebra, there's something on the equal side of the equation. Now you need to fill in the X and Y's and to make that work. Or don't. And fail like you've been doing. Figure it out.
I don't know where I read this or heard this, but it was something like, you know what the difference between a goal and a dream is? A plan. So you can have goals, and if you don't have a plan, it's just a wish. And people just be wishing their lives away. But if you got goals, then you got to have some plans. That means you got to put some work in. I keep emphasizing that. You got to put work in. That's just the way it is. You got to do the work to reap the reward.
What do we say? We got to debunk another saying.
What's that?
Good things come to those who wait.
Not all the time.
None of the time. You don't get nothing good for waiting. You have to have worked and did something to wait on.
I think it means to those that are patient and persistent. Mm-hmm. But it don't mean just sitting there just not waiting on something to just fall from the sky. You got your hands open. Ain't nothing gonna fall in your hands if you just sitting there. Only thing gonna fall from the sky is bird droppings. If that's what you waiting on, you'll get it. Just sit there with your hands out. It's gonna fall on your head too.
In non-pastor terms, he said the only thing you gonna get by waiting is shit.
I didn't say that. Bird droppings. But yeah, no, you gotta. It don't work that way.
It don't work unless you work, and y'all just refuse to work.
No, you gotta be work. You gotta do the work.
Why do people refuse to work? Leroy, is that my bubble? Do people actually not refuse to work? And because I'm in my own bubble, it just looks like people refuse to work on themselves, in like the world, on anything. I think about it as simple as golf. Like I love golf, and I spend 3 hours a week in the sun at the driving range hitting a golf ball. Yet, when I find a tee for around the 18 holes, there's inevitably going to be somebody that ain't never seen no driving range that is going to do significantly worse than I'm doing and have the worst attitude about why they're doing so bad. And all I can think of is, do you practice? And one man said, oh, I don't go to the range and I'm not taking no lessons. I'm too old. I'm stuck in my ways. I almost wanted to just stop playing altogether. I didn't want to even be around him. I don't want to be around nobody that thinks like that. I definitely don't want to be around somebody that can vocalize a sentence that's stupid. I'm not going to practice or learn because I'm stuck in my ways. Get thee behind me, Satan.
But they're playing golf.
Wasting his time and mine. Leroy, this round of golf took 5 hours and 45 minutes. Because Leland, all the other three of us, playing normal. Leland, re-teeing, hitting it in the woods, chucking it 3-4 feet in front of him. Oh, he don't care. He's stuck in his ways.
Well, why is he playing?
Same reason most men play golf. Don't ruin our break from our lives because you don't even know how to get a good break from yours. That's my thing, is work, practice. I can't imagine all the people that want fancy things and don't have like either a tuition payment stub or a student loan balance.
How you gonna get it?
How you gonna get it? Not tuition as in you got to go to college to get something, but like you didn't like do an apprenticeship. You didn't like learn something. You didn't go to trade school. You didn't take a LinkedIn learning course. You didn't go to a boot camp. You didn't do a nothing. You don't have I applied and intended to get better at something and a certificate that says I succeeded at what I intended, but you expect the outcome. If you listening to this podcast and you 2 hours in and this go back to episode 1 from 2019 and then listen to all of those, just like until now, and then restart this from minute 1, and then when you get back here, hopefully you're not that person no more. Cause
I never thought I was the smartest person in the room, but I thought I was okay, right? And I'm not the smartest person in the room. But when I was 17 years old, I knew I wanted to work at Lockheed. Because I knew Lockheed, I said, okay, I want to work at Lockheed. That was a place to be. Back then, it was a major company, and if that was kind of the goal, you go work for a company. And I wanted to work for Lockheed because I knew they made airplanes. They was a machine shop. They built the parts, and I knew that. So I said, I'm going to go to trade school. I'm going to take up machine shop course, and I'm going to go to work at Lockheed. I mean, I didn't know how that was going to pan out. I just knew if I was going to go to work at Lockheed, that was one way I could do it. So that's what I did. And I ended up there, and, I ended up doing those things that I went to school to do, and other things as well. But the thing is, you gotta have a plan. That was my goal, and I had a plan. So a month after I graduated high school, A month later, I was in machine shop class. Everybody else playing, doing what they doing. I'm in school. I did that for 2 years, you know. But you got to do that. But what I'm saying is this: you got to have a plan. Things don't just happen.
So you can probably quickly and pretty easily tell that I'm sitting here with my father because I was taught the same plan lesson, but I'm big on documentation. So I actually have my 5 year plans from 2015 and 2017. In 2015, I was 21 years old, and my goal was in that first year, I was going to get an internship. I graduated 2016, and then I was going to open a Roth IRA. When I was 22, I was going to graduate from college. I was going to get a job, and I was going to get my own place downtown in Atlanta. I was also going to save $1,000. That was my thing. I want to save $1,000. I don't know why. It was random. And when I was 23, I was just going to work my full-time job I got, enjoy life, travel the world, and save money. That was the plan. And then 24, I was going to continue my job with room for growth, live in Atlanta or change states, and then continue saving towards getting some real estate. And in 2019, I was going to start an LLC and start saving to buy my first condo and house and save $10,000. Guess what I did in 2019?
You did that.
Bought that condo.
Mm-hmm.
And in 2018, I continued that job with room for growth and got my PMP and jumped up to a whole new job. In 2017, that was when I worked for Athena. All I did was enjoy life and travel around. I traveled to 33 of the states for free.
Yeah.
All the Sky Miles, I went to Europe for free. All the Caribbean, traveled. And it's all because in 2015, I wrote out what I would do in them 5 years. And it's crazy how. I'll show you the screen. Every single one of those was accomplished and crossed out. And so what I do is, as I come up with new 5 year plans, just keep putting them here. So I got the one from 2017 where I needed that certification and a new car. Did both of those. Get my first bonus and pay off my Sally Mae loan. Did that at 24. Paid off one of the major student loans. 2019, new certification, $75,000 minimum salary. Done. If I didn't write it down, that's why when I think about what I'll do in these next 5 from 30 to 35, is once you put it down, it usually get done for the most part. So just write them down. You just said your whole life was a plan that you made when you were 17. You sitting here in your 60s and you can call and say, I'll never work again any second you want to. You could right now in the middle of this podcast pick up the phone and say, I retire and be done.
Yep.
Because of a plan. And I think about how many people didn't have a plan and aren't at that place. Or there's people that had a plan. Lifed.
Yeah.
Didn't make it to that place.
And
that's the other outcome.
Yeah.
You got to be content with whatever the outcome is because you did what you can do.
And that's the key. Do what you can do.
Control what you can control.
And the things you can't.
That got me into my bubble because that's why when I think about your environment and what you consume and think about, I'm going on 2 years no social media. And you know me, my spirit's so vexed, I got to run out the room when the news come on. Because we say protect your peace. You can actually do that.
You can.
I'm the witness is the fact that when I come around and everybody's so stressed, I'm like, what y'all stressed about? What's going on? Oh, the school shootings. Oh, I didn't know nothing about that. That's been happening. Oh, the police brutality. The same police brutality from 5 years ago? Oh, the same one? So the same stress y'all was stressed about in 2019, y'all stressed about it in 2022. Y'all still stressed about that today in 2024? That don't seem... What did you say earlier? Like, if you do the same thing and expect a different outcome. So why we keep stressing over the stuff that we can't control? How many of y'all that spend time in negative mental spaces over politics have been to any campaign meeting, any dinner. Like, think about it. Like, we ain't been to no dinners. We ain't been to no rally. They'll hold around the block, a community service, the Democrat. Man, all you do is complain when Biden come in town because the traffic gonna be bad. Oh, Trump gonna be in town. The traffic's horrible. Man, when did y'all go to us? You know, like, you can email them. I emailed my senator in Texas because I'm a tax-paying citizen, so I'm gonna get benefits from my taxes. You know, I don't think my letter had anything to do with it, but I haven't heard that train at that train station near my apartment since I sent that letter. Online, they said that they were already making all of the stations no noise zones. I think that my station might have been up next. In my mind, my letter got that accelerated. But think about how many people all these years have spent time complaining, talking, and you know what it took to write an email and a letter to my senator? Go to a website, send an email. They ain't stopped emailing me since.
Want money?
They email me for money. They email me for polls. They want to know what they should think about a stance or something. I'm like, hey, big dog, I just didn't want to hear that train no more. I don't care about whatever else you got going on.
And you know, you can call them.
You can
That's
call
the thing
them.
about it, you can call them.
So all of y'all that's so bent out of shape over politics, between January 6th, whenever that happened, until right now, when you're ready to lose friends over red versus blue again, what did you do with politics in those 4 years? That was over 1,200 days. Over 1,200 days, how many of those days did you spend doing anything political? Knowing that you spent 0 out of 1,200 days being political, why are you stressing over politics right now? And that's the same for anything across the board.
Yeah.
Anything. But also, it is dangerous if you got too many people like me that's just unchecked out.
Right.
You kind of need people checked in because, but who knows? I feel like what happened was, that's what happened in the 60s. With the Vietnam War and all them crazy hippies, it was too many people that checked out. And you saw what happened with the 70s and 80s trying to get everybody back in line. Honestly seems signal because it seems like a lot of people checking out again. This crypto with this just kind of new internet wave, we checking out of the system. You know, these kids are checking out of college. They're checking out of career. They're checking out even trying. Like, they're all right just sitting at the parent spot and getting a Chick-fil-A and, you know, just hanging, you know?
Yeah. They checking out of all the institutions.
Yeah. You think about it, very similar to that hippie era is like, they got the long hair again.
Yes, they do.
The boys dressing like girls again.
Yes, they are.
Y'all always said that things come around.
What was it the preacher said? There's nothing new under the sun. Solomon.
Yep.